A week later, everyone is gathering in front of the dungeon entrance. Kim Jun-woo say he is shocked when Yubin Han arrived, as he wasn't expecting her. She says she doesn't come because she want to. Kim Jun-woo looks annoyed by her response. She looks confident, but there are eye bags under her eyes. She says she wants an apology for last time. But Kim Jun-woo has no intention of apologizing. She looks determined and resolved. Seo Min-cheol announces the practical exam will take place in the dungeon. The assignment will be conducted according to how each one deals with given issues. The practical exam has now begun. As they are walking down in the dungeon, Lee Soo-young announces an issue has appeared. Operation Team 4 has requested support, but no available team can be dispatched except the current team. The man with the scar says he will finish subjugation in 20 minutes and go over to help them. The other two also agree with his answer. Kim Jun-woo thinks it is a logical decision, but they are gonna receive deduction points. Yubin Han voices disagreement with the decision of the others. She says it is not possible to do subjugation in 20 minutes, and it's better to retreat first and continue with subjugation later. The man with the scar thinks it is a ridiculous answer, and the other one also disagrees with her answer. To their surprise, it was the correct answer. All the other guys seem to misunderstand about the practical exam, as the assignment isn't just to evaluate subjugation but also cleaning. The task to subjugate and clean within 20 minutes is impossible, and it is better to retreat. Kim Jun-woo is surprised by how much she changed just in 1 week. As the monster starts roaring and starting to attack, everyone starts activating their skills. The man with the scar activates Rampage skill and cuts the monster leg. The blonde one uses his skill to summon a giant snake and immobilize the ogre by biting the ogre's neck. Yubin Han also uses her skill to jump in midair. She then punched the ogre's head. Seo Min-cheol and HR team leader are amazed after seeing the applicant's skills, but they are doubtful of Yubin Han and asks if she is really from International Association. Jun-woo states another issue has come up. The man with the scar is grinning. The night before, he got the assignment guideline from Seo Min-cheol. Seo Min-cheol then says it is the assignment planned by Kim Jun-woo, and it must not be leaked. The man with the scar thinks passing will be easy for him since he was the vice president of the previous guild and now he has the assignment. Back in the present, Kim Jun-woo says the dungeon must be cleaned by the current team due to the delay of the other cleaning team. However, it is time to go to the other operation to support them as promised. Also, all the teammates have died during the subjugation, leaving you to proceed with dungeon cleaning alone. The man with the scar is shocked by the question, as it is not mentioned in the assignment he got from the Seo Min-cheol. Kim Jun-woo then says each one will need to be quick and finish the task within 20 minutes. The applicants are shocked after hearing this. It was all in Kim Jun-woo's plan. He improvised the assignment as he knew the assignment got leaked. 7, 6, 5. Kim Jun-woo is counting down as the applicant is cleaning. The applicant then threw the cleaning cloth and rage quit. Kang Woo-hyuk is now eliminated as he knows nothing about cleaning. It is Shin Tae-won's turn next. Shin Tae-won thinks why a ranker and vice guild leader, #1 in Korea's berserker users like himself, would clean all the mess in 20 minutes. He then complained and called it an impractical assignment. He yells at Seo Min-cheol and tells him that it's not what he agreed upon. Now, Seo Min-cheol is under the HR person's glare. The man with the scar complains about how they should do another assignment since the task doesn't make sense. It is Yubin Han's turn. Kim Jun-woo thinks she will also give up, but to his surprise, she leaps into the monster and throws the chemical bag over the monster's body. She then slashes all the chemical bags, causing the powders inside the bag to fall out. She then starts disassembling the monster carcass body. She is cleaning with efficiency and blocking the gas and blood of the carcass with a chemical spray at the same time. Everyone is surprised by how efficient her work is. She then throws a bunch of rope and pulls all the monster carcass disassembled parts. She will most likely finish the assignment in time. Kim Jun-woo is shocked seeing how Yubin Han is suddenly serious about the cleaning. The man with the scar calls it biased and tells Kim Jun-woo how his candidate is the only one who is able to finish the assignment. He then tells him to call it off as it is biased. Yubin Han tells him that he should be ashamed of calling it biased just because he doesn't have what it takes even though a week is given. She reminds him how every applicant here is supported by someone in the association. Also, Shin Tae-won is here because of the general manager, and he is full of himself. She then mocks him, saying that is a reason why he is a mere vice leader of a nameless guild and got kicked out. After hearing this, Shin Tae-won gets extremely angry and activates his berserker skill. He is ranked first place in the Korea National Berserker class. To his surprise, Yubin Han is also a high-ranking berserker and ranked 152nd in the world. The two release their berserker skills as they are about to fight. Shin Tae-won notices how she is not an ordinary hunter. As they are about to go fighting, Kim Jun-woo interferes in the match. He grabs Yubin Han's hand and steps on Shin Tae-won's back. He successfully interferes with the fight and then calls it to quit fighting if they don't want to humiliate themselves. But the man with the scar starts resisting, saying to let go. Kim Jun-woo calls him a mere ranker trash and kicks him on his back several times. Yoo Bin-han notices how strong Kim Jun-woo's grip is. She has also retracted her weapon. Kim Jun-woo wraps up the evaluation, and it has ended. Outside the dungeon, Kim Jun-woo apologizes to her as he knows how much she prepared for the assignment by the look of it. She is shocked by Jun-woo's sudden good behavior. She accepts his apology with a smiling face. She then says she will not meet him again as she thinks she will not pass the exam. The next day, inside the dungeon, Sang-hyuk-han yells Kim Jun-woo and calls him crazy. The reason for his yelling is that his sister is now hired for the cleaning team. The day after the recruitment evaluation, Yoo Bin-han is bored as she doesn't have anything to do. She is also surprised by how Kim Jun-woo caught up to the speed of her berserker skill and even stopped her attack with a single fist. She notices how Kim Jun-woo is not a mere cleaner. As she is thinking, a message comes in. It is a message about how Yoo Bin-han passed the interview. She is surprised after seeing the message. In New York, USA, a man seems to be shouting and slamming his hand. The man complained about someone obtaining a file after instructing the woman to dispose of it. The woman replied with how the operation team has another copy in their end. The man rampaging is Jason, control team leader of the International Association New York branch. The blonde woman is Chloe, the support team manager of the International Association. It seems like Jason is talking about Yoo Bin-han. Several months ago, an accident occurred during an operation led by Yoo Bin-han. A monster attacked Yoo Bin-han with its claw, but the silver hair woman saved her from the attack. However, she seems to have gotten injured because of that. As the monster starts approaching, Yoo Bin-han tells her to go, and she was going to hold off. The silver-haired woman throws her something that looks like a golden pendant. She then tells her to save her own life. The silver-haired woman then uses her skill on Yoo Bin-han, forcefully propelling her to a distant place. She cries and tells her to stay alive while she is calling for backup. But it seems like it is too late since the monster is already near the silver-haired woman and going to attack her. As she calls for backup to the control team, the control team replies with how they have no one for backup at the moment. She yells, saying that she knows the control has backup reserved, but the control team keeps denying it. Yoo Bin-han cries and rages because she was so frustrated. At the present, Jason thinks about how he instructed not to send backup using their budget as the dungeon she was subjugating was not profitable. The silver-haired Filipino hunter wasn't worth saving using hundreds of $1,000s. At that time, he thinks he had to make ends meet. The upper management didn't seem to care and they made the death look like an accidental death. Yoo Bin-han got haywire, and it provided a good excuse to kick her out. She got suspended, and everything seemed to go normal, until Yoo Bin-han left with the control team operation file. If the file got released, not only would the truth about the accident come out, but the corruption and embezzlement Jason committed would also get leaked. Jason wants to know Yoo Bin-han's location and asks Chloe to track her down. Chloe replies, saying that Yoo Bin-han is now joining the cleaning team of the Korean Association. Jason is a little surprised by why a crazy woman like her joined the cleaning team. Jason realizes the International Association is going to propose a joint operation with Korea next week. Jason plans to use the situation to visit Yoo Bin-han and retrieve the files. It seems like Kim Jun-woo has unlocked another skill by getting a new recruit for the cleaning team. He is now also the cleaning team 3 leader. Kim Jun-woo seems happy with the current situation. Then we see the cleaning team members keep asking for Kim Jun-woo's help in cleaning. They even tell him not to slack off. Kim Jun-woo is upset and angry as they don't respect him as a team leader. He realizes that the leader of a petty team can't bring any changes to the headquarters. As Kim Jun-woo looks at the phone, he notices control team leader Pyeon Chang-hyun is calling him. The control team leader contacts Kim Jun-woo and requests a cleaning team that can accompany the operation team for the newly opened dungeon. Kim Jun-woo smiles as he seems to have an idea of who to call. He then contacts Yoo Bin-han and asks her to go to the unclean dungeon. Yoo Bin-han gets upset as she just finished working and complains about why he is giving too much work to them. Kim Jun-woo tells her he has overestimated Yoo Bin-han by how much she is capable of with a smug face. She gets angry again and yells at him but finally agrees to go. It seems like Kim Jun-woo has been passing complicated dungeons to Yoo Bin-han. There is no better person to ask for when needing to both subjugate and clean the dungeons. With the other cleaning team carrying a lot of work, Kim Jun-woo's team only needs to do half the work. And thanks to that, Kim Jun-woo has unlocked another ability by reaching a 30% satisfaction rate. The previous team leader, Park Jun-tae, is also now promoted to cleaning team manager. He seems really happy with the new position he has gotten. In the operation team assembly held in the control team office, someone seems to be complaining after seeing the schedule report. She then asks the control team leader, Pyeon, why all the operations are now in sync with the cleaning team schedule, as she believes the operation should be more important. The two people complaining are Operation Teams 4 and 5 leaders. She then calls out Kim Jun-woo, as he brought the entire project to a stop because it was too tough on his team and even got rid of other continuous operations. They complain and say the cleaning team should endure heavy schedules as it is their duty. The complaints start getting louder, and they label Kim Jun-woo as incompetent. Min-joo Kim defends Kim Jun-woo and tells them to check the operation settlement report. She then pulls out data books and shows them how the subjugation rate has increased to 30%. There is not a single accident with dungeons, and the performance rate has increased to 30%. She suggests that the cleaning team and the operation team should work together, but others don't seem to listen and complain about how it is not fair. They then tell her to figure it out on her own since their team won't be joining any operation next week. Operation Team 4 leader says how Min-joo can handle all the operations herself in the next loop dungeon. Other people, including Team 5 and Team 8, also agree not to take part in the subjugation next week and walk out of the room. As they are leaving the room, the assistant manager of the control team reports that there is a call from the USA branch. The control team leader takes the call and discusses something important with the USA branch. He then says he will transfer the call to someone who will make a decision. The news surprises everyone, wondering why the USA branch is suddenly calling the Korean branch. The control team leader explains that the USA wants a joint operation with Korea in the upcoming loop dungeon. Since the other teams had declared their non-participation, the control team leader decides to hand over the joint operation to Min-joo Kim's team. Their attitudes start shifting, and Lee Soo-young suggests the necessity of appointing a supervisor for the upcoming operation. The control team leader agrees and decides to make Kim Jun-woo the supervisor of the next joint operation. The other operation leaders look furious as they don't like the answer the control team leader gave. In the dungeon, Kim Jun-woo questions Yoo Bin-han about why a former international hunter is struggling against a mid-blue level dungeon. She explains that using her unique skill, Berserker, would make cleaning difficult as the carcass would get filthy. Kim Jun-woo insists that subjugation always comes first and advises against choosing an inefficient way. Jun-woo then asks if she has eaten anything yet. Yoo Bin-han thinks Jun-woo is offering to buy lunch. Instead, Kim Jun-woo assigns her another dungeon before heading to lunch. As she's about to punch Kim Jun-woo's face, her co-workers intervene. Jun-woo then receives a call from the American branch. He tells Yoo Bin-han he came to help her with cleaning, but the plan has changed. Jun-woo quickly leaves the dungeon before things escalate more. The US branch, Jason, explains that loop dungeons don't normally appear in the Northern American region and proposes a joint operation. A loop dungeon is a special dungeon that loops back in time just before subjugation if the monster isn't subjugated under specific conditions, with no limit to the loop count. The subjugation will repeat indefinitely until the right conditions are met. Even Kim Jun-woo repeated the same dungeon 100 times to finally subjugate it. The American branch proposing a joint operation should be helpful news for the Korean Association. However, he knows it's bullshit and suspects they are planning something. Before his regression, he received the same call from the US branch. That time, they secretly stole the time stone found in the loop dungeon and fled back to the United States. There was an uproar in the Seoul branch, and Kim Jun-woo even got an earful from the supervisors for that. The Seoul branch only got a small portion of the profit while the American branch took off with the real profit. Kim Jun-woo has rejected the proposal, saying how they are going to proceed on their own. After hearing it, Jason is getting nervous and flustered. He tries to provide financial support and asks for a personal account. Kim Jun-woo laughs at how Jason tries to bribe him with dirty money and insults him. But he is shocked after hearing $1 million. He starts trembling as he doesn't know what to decide. There is a message from Min-joo Kim about the next loop dungeon. Every operation team is on strike except for her team, and Kim Jun-woo has been appointed the operations supervisor. After reading the message, Kim Jun-woo gets pissed as it is gonna be a hassle. Kim Jun-woo finally agrees to the joint operation. Jason then asks Kim Jun-woo to have a cleaning team for the American branch, as the budget is not enough for them. Jun-woo tells him not to worry, as he has the new cleaning team. It seems like Kim Jun-woo has fallen into Jason's trap. A moment later, Kim Jun-woo realizes that it is Yoo Bin-han's former workplace and thinks about what to do. He wonders, is it okay to have Yoo Bin-han participate in the upcoming loop dungeon with the American branch? A week later, on the day of the joint operation with the American headquarters, the Korean and American teams are discussing something near the dungeon entrance. Soyeon wonders what they are discussing since it's been almost an hour, and the atmosphere is tense. Jun-woo explains how each party has different rules when it comes to combat and clearing dungeons. He explains that they are anxious because if the conditions to clear the dungeons are not met, most likely, they will be locked up indefinitely. Soyeon is terrified after hearing this. Sang-hyuk Han asks why Jun-woo is scaring Soyeon, stating that since the American branch is here, What is the worst that can happen? Jun-woo is worried as the problem is that they don't know much about what the American branch is planning. The loop dungeons are dangerous. There was a hunter who went crazy after looping 1,400 times. It is undoubtedly a risky dungeon, but Kim Jun-woo has information from his past life and knows the exact conditions. However, he is not going to say anything since it will be suspicious, and Min-joo Kim needs field experience as the team leader. He is also planning to secretly collect the time stone. Someone seems to be trembling near him. It is Yoo Bin-han, and she looks extremely angry. She asks why Kim Jun-woo didn't tell her anything about the operation with the American team. The other cleaning members are smiling and gossiping, eagerly anticipating the moment when Kim Jun-woo is going to get beaten up. Jun-woo explains he didn't tell her so she would show up. He also instructs her not to cause any trouble with the American branch. He is worried about the American branch since he knows they are definitely up to something. Jason and Chloe then introduce themselves to Kim Jun-woo. Jason then greets Yoo Bin-han, but she doesn't seem too happy about it. Jason then advises to maintain a professional and personal separation and how he is sorry about the incident with Angel. He asks if she has taken something, instructing her to give it back with a threatening aura. She denies taking anything. As Jason and Chloe walk away, Jason tells Chloe to take care of the stone while he is going to take care of the little wretch. Min-joo Kim then instructs everyone to prepare for the dungeon raid at the entrance. She states that today's loop dungeon also happens to be a double zone dungeon with 2 bosses. She explains how they will proceed with the conditions by following the manual prepared by the US branch. The dungeon subjugation has now begun. After 3 hours into the operation, Min-joo Kim seems to be running toward the monster. She starts jumping into midair, using the monster's hand as leverage. She activates the skill called Thunder Arm Deity. She has successfully cut off the monster's body and defeated him. Kim Jun-woo tells her from the communication device to save stamina as she searches for the boss room. He then asks Sang-hyo-kan about how the markings are going. The marks are left on the passages, crossways, and rooms that have been explored by the operation teams. Also, he asks Sang-hyo-kan to record the time and number of loops. He then instructs Soyeon to check for team members' conditions every time they loop back. He tells everyone to burn the carcasses instead of disassembling them so that the cleaning team doesn't fall behind. He asks Yoo Bin-han to map the inside of the dungeon's interior. She gets pissed as it is supposed to be team supervisor Kim Jun-woo's job. Min-joo Kim's team is proceeding with subjugation as the vanguard team. The American branch supports them on the rear end, and the cleaning team follows after them, cleaning as fast as they can. The subjugation seems to be going too well, except Kim Jun-woo thinks there is something fishy about Jason. He keeps trying to glance in the cleaning team's direction, even though he should have no time looking for the cleaning team, given his intention to loot the time stone. As long as Kim Jun-woo is here, there is no way Jason is taking the time stone to America. It seems like Min-joo Kim has found the boss room. Everyone seems to be ready. They open the boss room and discover an ancient structure surrounded by a vast open field. With the boss nowhere in sight, Min-joo Kim attempts to contact the other team, but receives no reply. She thinks the signal is weak and not to worry. Suddenly, a spear flies into Min-joo Kim's operation team. The spear destroys the team formation, and everyone is now scattered. A member of the team gets separated, and a giant monster pierces his body with the spear. Min-joo Kim and the team appear to be in shock and disbelief after witnessing what has happened. The spear starts dripping with the team members' blood. The monster starts walking toward Min-joo Kim and her team. Outside the dungeon boss room, Jason is looking for the moment to retrieve the file from Yoo Bin-han, but he notices Kim Jun-woo is looking a bit strange. He notices how Jun-woo is monitoring every moment of him. Jason thinks of a way to separate from Kim Jun-woo. Kim Jun-woo contacts the team about how the subjugation is going. They hear a loud noise from the boss room. Min-joo Kim replies with how they finished subjugating. Kim Jun-woo notices that Min-joo Kim didn't sound good from her voice and heads inside the room. Inside the room, there is the lifeless body of a large monster lying on the floor, with everyone appearing injured, and some appearing lifeless. Everyone looks shocked because there are casualties. As Min-joo Kim hears the voice of Kim Jun-woo, she grabs him and cries, saying how she could not do anything. Kim Jun-woo blames himself for preoccupying with the American branch and time stone. The system shows the clearing condition is unfulfilled, and dungeon subjugation failed. The loop seems to be restarting in 5 seconds. Everyone is surprised after seeing the system message about the unfulfilled condition. Jun-woo warns everyone how the loop is restarting. The message has disappeared, and the loop has now started. Yoon Seong-gul and Kim Kwang-hee are the members that died from subjugating. They apologize for not being able to do anything. Even the American branch didn't see it coming, and they are holding an urgent meeting. Operation Team 2 is now both mentally and physically down to fully use combat power. Min-Ju Kim is in the worst condition as this is the first time she is handling the death of teammates. She then asks her master to teach her the best way to inflict pain on the monster. She states that she will get revenge on the bastard as they loop over and over again. Kim Jun-woo flicks her forehead to stop her glaring. He explains that what she needs is not revenge but a plan for dungeon conquest so that the rest of the team is not at risk. He then asks her to explain about the boss monster she subjugated. She explains the first one is the golem that emitted blue light, and the second one is the golem with red light. She then explains how the first boss emits blue light after it collapsed, and the second one emits red light after it collapsed. Kim Jun-woo asks why two monsters emit different light. Min-Ju Kim says she noticed the system window appeared with glowing blue flesh before the loop. She now realizes that the blue light is related to breaking the loop, and the blue light monster should be subjugated last. Min-Ju Kim has ordered her team to gather around and start subjugation again. There will be 2 teams to do the subjugation simultaneously. The subjugation will begin in 20 minutes as the radio will be cut in the boss room. The 2 teams are now each at the entrance of boss rooms. Min-Ju Kim says she is worried about Yuban Han. A while ago, Jason asked for Yuban Han to be on his team, as he says Yuban Han's skill will be hugely helpful, and they have worked together before. Min-Ju Kim stated that she would go to the dispatch team instead of Yuban Han, but Yuban insisted and eventually agreed. Kim Jun-woo comforts her by saying that Yuban Han is a lot stronger than what she thinks and to focus on subjugation instead. Jun-woo is waiting for the moment the American branch will show their true intention. The red light glowing monster starts attacking. Min-Ju Kim charges towards the monster by clinging to the monster spear. The other team members start attacking the boss with long-range skills. As Min-Ju Kim starts running toward the boss attacks her with another spear. Min-Ju Kim's attack is now clashing with the boss monster's spear. There is a shocked look on Min-Ju Kim's face. Kim Jun-woo notices she doesn't have much power since she is strained from the previous subjugation. The spear went through her shoulder and starts flying toward the team location. Min-Ju Kim is now falling in mid-air without any defense. The monster charges towards her as he is ready to slash Min-Ju Kim with his claws. Kim Jun-woo grabs Min-Ju Kim and uses the Hellfire skill to attack the monster, countering the monster hand. He then tells her to take out the sword and do the subjugation with her own hands. Jun-woo states that her team members will be in danger if she doesn't defeat the monster. She explains how she can't move her hands, but Kim Jun-woo tells her to use the left hand grip. All of the moments she trained for were so that she can protect her teammates as a leader. Now the moment has come. In the past, this subjugation would be impossible for Min-Ju Kim, but she is no longer the old Min-Ju Kim before his regression. She has now become Kim Jun-woo's student. She has awakened the unique class that is called Sword Emperor. She has now mastered the art of ambidextrous swordsmanship, skillfully wielding the sword with both hands. Meanwhile, on the side of Yuban Han and the American branch, Yuban Han appears to be cornered, barely dodging the monster's attacks. Yuban Han yells at the others, asking why they are not supporting her as she is about to get killed. Jason replied with a disgusting face, saying there's nothing much they can do since everyone is exhausted. They have set up a defense barrier and are planning to do nothing. Chloe reminds her there is only 5 minutes left. Yuban Han knows Jason's team is saving up energy for something, but she has no choice. She uses her unique skill, High Panic Berserker, to defeat the monster. Jason seems happy after seeing Yuban Han finally use that skill. On the other side, Min-Ju Kim is having an awakening. It is the situation where a unique skill is activated to its maximum capacity and bestows a unique class. Only a few have had awakenings, even among A ranks. With her condition, she will only land 1 attack. Kim Jun-woo says he will support her from behind and to end the boss monster with 1 attack. He says to approach quickly and use the monster's long reach as an advantage and pierce through the monster. Min-Ju Kim leaps into the air to attack the red-lighted monster boss. She then activates the 1000-armed deity blade skill. The monster also seems to be using a skill that summons many spears, but all the spears get destroyed by the fire. Kim Jun-woo uses his skill, called Hellfire, to destroy all the spears the monster summoned. Min-Ju Kim has arrived above the golem's head. She has used her sword skill that is called Sword Dance to swiftly slash the golem's neck. The clearing condition is now fulfilled as the golem's head dropped to the ground. The system shows the message about the loop is ending above the headless monster body. It seems like the other team also finished subjugating the monster just in time. Min-Ju Kim smiles with a happy face after the tough battle. The American branch team contacts Min-Ju Kim's team. They congratulate Min-Ju Kim for the victory, telling them to go ahead and escape as they are going to clean up the mess. Kim Jun-woo doesn't believe a word they are saying and calls them bastards. He quickly runs towards where Yuban Han and the American team's location using his skill. By the look of it, Jason has knocked out Sang-hyuk Han and So-yeon, dragging them across the floor. Yuban Han also seems to have gotten attacked. She asks how Jason will deal with the association. Jason tells her that the association will not find out if dead men tell no tales, and the association doesn't care about a couple of cleaners' lives. He then grabs Yuban Han's throat and points a sword at her. He demands to know where the files are. Yuban Han denies anything, saying she doesn't know. She notices how Jason waited for the moment she can't use the Berserker skill because of the time limit cooldown. Jason says he doesn't expect her to tell the truth. His plan from the start is to kill Yuban Han along with her colleagues. Then we see Kim Jun-woo knock away the weapon Jason was holding. Jason is surprised after Jun-woo appeared suddenly. Kim Jun-woo is now holding Yuban Han and tells Jason to explain about his doings. But Jason and his team are now preparing to attack by the look of how they are activating the skills. Jason orders his team to take them down. His team uses their own skills to summon Necromancer and Machine Gun. They then shoot down Kim Jun-woo and Yuban Han, and a huge explosion has occurred. Then they all get frightened when they hear Kim Jun-woo's voice. Jun-woo looks like he has gotten scratch-free and without any injuries from the gunfire. He analyzes the team and says that it is not quite a balanced team as they are focused more on long-range skill. Yuban Han asks the reason why Kim Jun-woo is provoking them. Jun-woo says to quiet down as he is about to participate in a battle. Chloe is helping out Yuban Han by carrying 2 unconscious team members. Yuban Han is suspicious about whose side she is on. Kim Jun-woo is now going to face all of the American branch team members alone. He then says how the team position is a death call since the wrong move gets all of them beaten up by the Berserker. Jason mocks him as he says Yuban Han can't use the Berserker class for hours once she already used her power. Jun-woo uses a replication skill of his that can copy the high panic Berserker of Yuban Han. It can copy everyone's unique skill for 1 minute. Both Jason and Yuban Han are surprised after seeing it. Kim Jun-woo says to get ready as he is about to beat their asses. Jason is surprised by how a cleaner is using skills. Kim Jun-woo copies the skill from the previous red-lighted golem using the replica skill, and also activate polymorph, which can change the size or shape of any object. Kim Jun-woo then summons a bunch of cleaning mops, each as big as the spears the previous monster used. Jason warns his team to stay in formation and attack. Kim Jun-woo approaches Jason riding the giant mop he summoned. He then hits Jason's head with incredible strength using the cleaning mop. He lands in the middle of the American team formation. After that, he starts combining his hemorrhage skill to boost stats and replicating the high Berserker skill for additional buffs. Kim Jun-woo starts attacking Jason's team, sending them flying into the air. They all get heavily attacked without even getting a chance to defend. Jason is shocked by what he is seeing. As they start falling down, Jun-woo arrives in front of Jason. He is now ready to beat the crap out of him. As Jason begs to talk this out with a panicked face, a punch comes right into his face. Kim Jun-woo slams Jason's head into the floor using his skill. Chloe and Yuban Han are shocked after seeing all of this. Jason and the American branch are now knocked out by Kim Jun-woo. Yuban Han is impressed by his skills, perfect judgment, dominating leadership, and overwhelming power. She believes Angel could be alive if someone like Kim Jun-woo was in the American branch. When Jason wakes up, Kim Jun-woo is ready to kill him. Jason begs him, saying the International Association will come after Jun-woo. Kim Jun-woo doesn't seem worried, stating that dead men tell no tales. Yuban Han stops him and warns him not to mess with the International Association, as his life will be in danger. Kim Jun-woo doesn't seem to care and cracks Jason's leg with force. He states that the American branch can't do anything, as they tried to kill them first. He then reaches his hand to Chloe and asks her to give it to him. Kim Jun-woo says he knows how she stole the time stone and now demands her to hand it over. In return, he promises Jason that he would dispose of the operation files Yuban Han has, and he will forgive about all the mess American branch made. Jason agrees to Kim Jun-woo's terms. Chloe says she understands and hands over the time stone to Jun-woo. After getting the time stone, Jun-woo smiles as he says nothing ever happened here. Outside the dungeon, Kim Jun-woo asks Yuban Han about the files. Yuban Han explains that the files contain proof of the association's circumstances that could have provided backup support for her friend who passed away. Kim Jun-woo feels bad he agreed to dispose of such crucial evidence. She then gives him the operation file Jason is looking for, which was hidden in a golden pendant. She says she wanted to give it to the reporters when she arrived in Korea, but no one agreed as they didn't want to take the risk. The file contains corruption of the American branch that belongs to the International Association. There are rumors that whoever messes with the International Association ends up dead. That is why no reporter agrees. He says he will make use of it since he was also stabbed in the back by the American branch once. It seems like Kim Jun-woo contacted the previous reporter who wrote about his team's article. The reporter agrees to publish the files, but it is going to be a lot of work. A small tide of files took a ripple effect, and the operation in charge of Yuban Han and Angel is going to get reassessed and re-examined. Jason is busted for all sorts of corruption involving embezzlement of profits from dungeon subjugation. He and 19 hunters of his team will also get punished for causing internal conflict during the operation. As the situation gets deeper, the two governments announce they will hold an inspection of their hunter association. Kim Jun-woo opens the hospital door to meet with Min-ju Kim. He got reminded of his previous encounter with her in the hospital. Unlike in the past life, Min-ju Kim seems really happy to see him. Jun-woo asks about how she is doing. Min-ju Kim replies how the surgery went well and asks about the hearing. He says the higher-ups take care of him breaking Jason's leg by calling it self-defense. With such a big incident during the operation, the other operation leaders will come at Kim Jun-woo with full force. Kim Jun-woo tells her not to come back to work with those injuries. He then slips a paper to Min-ju Kim. In the paper, there is accident compensation. He then tells her not to show up at work, as he filed a sick day. He also requested a rank re-evaluation for Min-ju Kim since she had an awakening. She cries and asks him if she deserves this as she failed to protect her teammates. He comforts her by saying it is not her fault and she has grown stronger. He compliments her, saying she did a good job. Jun-woo's phone starts ringing. Kim Jun-woo says he needs to leave since Dusik Lee asked to come see him. Jun-woo wonders why she is not looking at his way while he is leaving, but he lets it slide since she is injured. Min-ju Kim seems to be blushing, and her heart is skipping a lot. At the association, Chief Lee is telling Kim Jun-woo how popular the cleaning team has become. The comments are saying how the Korean cleaning team exposed the American branch's corruption and complimenting the cleaning team. There are even articles written about the cleaning team trending on the internet. Because of that, Kim Jun-woo seems to have unlocked a bunch of skills. He has even unlocked some new classes. Kim Jun-woo smiles as he is really happy about it. He then asks Lee Ah-hyung if she had done his request. The request was to compensate the families of the two hunters who passed away, as well as their funerals. She says she had taken care of it. Dusik Lee seems exhausted, saying things are getting out of hand. Some board members are even considering cutting off Jun-woo before the International Association confronts them, but Dusik Lee managed to hold them off. The truth is the board has been pushing ahead with matters related to the International Association, but Jun-woo intervened and made a mess. Dusik Lee even fell out of favor because he covered for Kim Jun-woo. He then warns Kim Jun-woo about the audit schedule next week, and audit people always assume everybody is hiding something. Kim Jun-woo was the one who led the audit in his past life, but now he's become subject to it. Dusik Lee says his influence is not enough and asks to make a plan to survive in the association. He then warns Jun-woo to lay low as he has already made some enemies. Dusik Lee then requests Kim Jun-woo to convince the chairman to return to the association as he has vanished for the last 3 years. Kim Jun-woo looks confused and asks why he is asking him about that. Dusik Lee says Kim Jun-woo is the chairman's direct affiliate, but he looks even more confused. Kim Jun-woo realizes that is why Lee Soo-young and Seo Min-cheol have been precautious with him. He tells Dusik Lee he has nothing to do with the chairman and it is all a rumor. Dusik Lee looks shocked and disappointed. Dusik Lee asks not to tell anyone he is not affiliated with the chairman as it will only bring trouble. In the control team office, the control team leader Pyeon assigns the next operation to team leader Kim Jun-woo and asks if anyone has objections. They all don't seem to have any objections, even Lee Soo-young has been quiet. The meeting is now finished. Control team assistant asks him why operation team leader's attitudes changed and they are not raising questions. He says corruption with the American branch, conflict with the International Association are shocking events, and that is why they are laying low. The control team leader worries as the board has turned upside down, and Kim Jun-woo seems to have fallen out of favor. He explains if Kim Jun-woo falls out of favor, the others, including the control team, will also get affected. The assistant doesn't think he should worry as Kim Jun-woo has a connection with the chairman. The control team leader whispers to his assistant. During the job interview for new recruits, he asked some of the directors, and they never heard of the name Kim Jun-woo. It was Yoon Young-go and Song Cheol-sik he spoke to, and they are the most influential people after Dusik Lee. It is strange the most influential directors from the association don't know about Kim Jun-woo. Also, he states that he didn't find any record of Jun-woo in the industry before joining the cleaning team. There is likely no way they ever met. As they are whispering, Lee Soo-young seems to be listening to what they are saying. After they notice Lee Soo-young say he left the files in the room and quickly dozed out of the room. They didn't notice Lee Soo-young has been standing behind them the whole time. Lee Soo-young tells the general manager, Seo Min-cheol, exactly what he heard. He then pulls out Kim Jun-woo's personal records, resident info, family relations, graduation, and a lot more. He even did a background check on Kim Jun-woo and found everything clean, proving that he never could have crossed paths with the chairman. Even with the recent incident involving the International Association, the chairman still hasn't come out. Seo Min-cheol agrees with Lee Soo-young's conclusion. He thinks about the past days where he's been acting patient with Kim Jun-woo and bowing down to him. He gets pissed at how a mere cleaner is making a fool out of them. He then explains how Kim Jun-woo interfered with the sellout of the Korean Association to the International Association. The Korean Association will be merged under the International Association. Seo Min-cheol explains he's been busy with meeting executives across the country to sign the deal. Those awaiting retirement will take their share, and the rest of the executives and hunters will become part of the International Association. But the problem begins with how the chairman handed authority to Doo-sik Lee before disappearing. That means Doo-sik Lee's final signature is needed. That is why Seo Min-cheol and the others are trying to establish a deal behind closed doors and put pressure on Doo-sik Lee afterward. Everything was going perfectly until Kim Jun-woo stirred up trouble with the American branch. The higher-ups, including Song Cheol-sik, are madly pissed. It can all turn upside down if the chairman returns, but he is nowhere to be seen for 3 years. Seo Min-cheol is now ready to pay back all the troubles Kim Jun-woo caused him. He calls Executive Director Song Cheol-sik and asks him to move up the audit so that he can get rid of Kim Jun-woo. Cheol-sik agrees to help him out and says he will make sure to save Seo Min-cheol a seat on the board. At the office, Min Joo-kim and her team look surprised. The audit team is carrying out a more thorough and rigorous audit than ever before. A member of the audit team asks Min Joo-kim if she is the one who wrote operation proposals by herself in the last few months. She then asks about the proposals seeming quite similar and finds it suspicious. She warns her about how much trouble she could get into by having someone else write up proposals. She questions how Min Joo-kim got appointed as a large-scale project leader of the recent operation when it hasn't been long since she earned that title. Min Joo-kim explains it is because the other project team leaders protested. She asks why there are protests, but Min Joo-kim says she doesn't know anything about that. Audit member tells Min Joo-kim that the boycott is about the cleaner trying to manage the headquarters schedule. She then asks what her relation is with Kim Jun-woo. Min Joo-kim doesn't say a word. Audit member comes to the conclusion that the past joint operation accident was the result of a rookie leader writing up operation proposals with advice from a mere cleaner. She and her team then walk out the door and tell Min Joo-kim she will be in touch. Min Joo-kim knows it is not a proper audit and someone is trying to get Kim Jun-woo. At the office of the support team, the audit team is questioning Chief Lee about her decision to allocate the highest quality equipment to Operation Team 2 during the last evaluation period. Chief Lee replies, stating that it is natural to support a team that is passionate about the competition. Audit member then points out that Operation Team 2 achieved second place despite their small numbers, suggesting that the outcome could have been different if the support team hadn't favored them with all the equipment. In conclusion, he asserts that it is an undeserved result. Chief Lee don't have any excuse to say. At the cleaning team office, the audit team reveals that they have discovered the cleaning team manager is not responsible for arranging the cleaning team schedules. The team then inquires about who is in charge of the schedules. Meanwhile, at the control team, the audit team questions why the control team showed favoritism towards Operation Team 2. Control team leader doesn't seem to have anything to respond. The audit team then seeks confirmation if these events that went against regulations are related to cleaner Kim Jun-woo. The three are now panicking and don't seem to have anything to say. Meanwhile, Kim Jun-woo seems to have gotten the message. The message is about Chief Lee saying the audit team is coming after him and to watch out. After that, there is a man waiting for him, introducing himself as Jun-hyuk from the audit team. After 2 hours of maintaining silence, Kim Jun-woo begins to notice their concerted efforts to target him. They not only mess with him directly but also with the people around him. To make him uncomfortable and prevent him from contacting others, they even go as far as taking away his phone. With the communication cut off and silence left, anyone would have lost in his own thoughts. A person starts feeling uneasiness and turns into pressure. Rationality collapses, and mostly that person gives whatever to get out of the situation. But Kim Jun-woo doesn't seem to be fazed, as he used that method to fire a bunch of people before his regression. Kim Jun-woo breaks the silence by asking about Executive Director Song Cheol-sik. He even says his wife's birthday is coming soon. Audit member seems irritated and asks Kim Jun-woo to watch his words. It is all part of Kim Jun-woo's plan. From now on, the more he stays silent, the more agitated he will become as he starts thinking about how Kim Jun-woo knows about all this and who Kim Jun-woo is. He will ask how a cleaner knows about Director Song Cheol-sik, and the uncomfortable thoughts will unfold. The next day, Chief Lee asks why Kim Jun-woo didn't pick up any calls. He explains how the audit team visited him but let him go without saying a word. Chief Lee states how the other team members are not in good shape, but they are not getting fired. Kim Jun-woo explains how his colleagues will suffer again and again until he quits. The association is forcing him to leave on his own. Kim Jun-woo says he will leave the association to solve the problem, but Chief Lee tells him not to make jokes. Jun-woo then calls Doo-sik Lee and tells him to wait for the time to strike. Doo-sik Lee says he understands. Kim Jun-woo then asks Chief Lee to accompany him somewhere. He also instructs her to wear something nice. Jun-woo is angry as he gets treated poorly, and his colleagues are suffering. Kim Jun-woo and Lee Ah-young are going somewhere with the car. Chief Lee blames Jun-woo for making her dress up nice clothes when they are driving on mountain roads. Jun-woo is carrying instant ramen package for some reason, and Lee Ah-young is curious why he is carrying instant ramen. As they walk through the forest, they come across a small house deep within the forest. Jun-woo asks if anyone is home and proceed to open the door. As he comes into the house, an old man points a sword at his throat and asks who he is. Kim Jun-woo introduces himself as someone from association headquarters and he has a message for him. Chief Lee notices the old man is association chairman in Byum Park. 50 years ago, when the dungeons first appeared, back then there wasn't an association or a guild. He was the one who began the history of hunters with 5 of his colleagues. He then established the current association by himself, becoming the head of the Korean Association of Supernatural Ability Management. The chairman tells them to go back before he kills them and to keep their mouths shut about the location. Kim Jun-woo says he brought ramyeon and a spicy one at that. The old man stops for a second. He then invites him in and gives them 30 minutes to speak. Chief Lee is surprised by how he knows the chairman's location even though Jun-woo denies his connection with the chairman. The chairman has prepared the ramyeon food and brings the food to the table. He tells them how he and his teammates used to eat ramen the entire month during subjugation 50 years ago. He asks how Kim Jun-woo knows where he lives as there wasn't anyone who knew this place. Kim Jun-woo says he is the leader of cleaning Team 3, and how the chairman wouldn't believe it even if he says the truth. The chairman is delighted by how a cleaner found the place. Lee Ah-young introduces herself as the chief deputy manager from the support team. The chairman notices she is Doo-sik Lee's daughter. Kim Jun-woo tells the chairman the board is planning to merge with the International Association, and the chairman needs to stop it. The chairman says he doesn't seem to have any reason to stop and how the association can go down itself. He explains how 50 years ago, there was no operation team, structure, or information. It was lucky to get out alive from the dungeon back then. Now, the people in the association are fighting for power and money and taking it for granted. He says he doesn't care anymore about the association and to go back. Kim Jun-woo tells him to hand over his position as chairman if he is not gonna do anything. The chairman is stunned. Jun-woo states to give up his position and enjoy old age, but all he is doing is wanting power without doing hard work. Lee Ah-young is trembling and grabbing his hair. She thinks Jun-woo has gone crazy. The chairman is furious and asks if he has lost his mind. Jun-woo states that it is the association that has lost its mind. Those who work for the safety of people have fallen out of favor while the corrupt rise to power. Jun-woo says he knows the reason why the chairman still hasn't given up. The reason the chairman is still holding on is that he hopes everything will go back to normal one day. The chairman sighs as he tells him he is old and he has no one to trust. Kim Jun-woo tells him that Doo-sik Lee is still on the chairman's side, but the chairman complains and says Doo-sik Lee still thinks like a high school kid. The chairman asks why he is doing all this and if he is after the director position. Kim Jun-woo says he declined the offer and is planning to leave the association soon. He tells the chairman he will get going as he does not have the patience to wait around. Chief Lee asks what is the reason Jun-woo is leaving the association on the way outside. But Jun-woo just mumbles he doesn't have much time left. Jun-woo then says to mind her own business and he is not responsible for them. While Kim Jun-woo walks ahead of her, Lee Ah-young softly whispers that it will be quite lonely if he quits. The chairman is now reading the newspaper about Kim Jun-woo and how he exposed the International Association. The chairman is amazed by how a cleaner brought the American branch down. He praises him as he has never seen someone like him. He takes a glance at a photo that seems to include himself and his friends. He left the association for 3 years after witnessing corrupt power in the operation team and executive power trips. He states that 3 years is enough to make up his mind. In the control team office, during the operation team meeting, control team leader Pyeon discusses a joint operation scheduled for next week. He asks which teams are available to participate. Team 4's leader says her team can't make it, and Team 5 also says the same. The other teams also refuse to participate and suggest asking Kim Jun-woo. They all mock Operation Team 2 as Kim Jun-woo has disappeared after his people are getting chewed out. They laugh at the control team leader and Min-joo Kim for asking a cleaner to plan schedules. Min-joo Kim and control team leader appear visibly distressed. Song Cheol-sik is laughing and praising Seo Min-cheol as Jun-woo has disappeared. Min-cheol mentions how Kim Jun-woo chose to disappear and people on his side are leaving him. Even if he comes back, he will just spend the rest of his life cleaning. Song Cheol-sik seems delighted, as the only thing left to do is to finish the merge with the International Association and take over. The only problem is Doo-sik Lee's signature, but the board has been scheduled for Doo-sik Lee's retirement. When a chairman leaves his position, the appointed executive is given authority until the chairman's return or resignation. However, if the chairman fails to perform his duty for 36 months, the board can enforce chairman dismissal through a vote. The boards of directors can forcefully dismiss the chairman and drive out Doo-sik Lee. Seo Min-cheol is worried since some executives are waiting for the chairman's return. Cheol-sik says not to worry, as he gave them bribes in exchange for the votes. He is now even calling Seo Min-cheol executive director. Seo Min-cheol asks if there is anyone for the general manager position after he got promoted, and he wants to promote Lee Soo-young to the general manager position. Executive Director Cheol-sik doesn't seem to mind and agrees. Kim Jun-woo has no one left to help him out in the association. Even Doo-sik Lee and the chairman are going to get dismissed. Song Cheol-sik now holds the power of the association. There have been whisperings and gossipings about why Kim Jun-woo crawled back after the mess he made. Min Joo Kim's team member greets him, but another one grabs him aside and tells him that getting involved will make things bad for them. Kim Jun-woo realizes even the people he was on good terms with are avoiding him. Min Joo Kim seems tired with eye bags. It seems like the audit team has made a scene in Min Joo Kim's office. Min Joo Kim asks why bad people are talking about Kim Jun-woo when he did nothing wrong. What is more infuriating is how the people who used to follow his lead are avoiding him because the board has been pressuring Kim Jun-woo. Jun-woo tells her not to take it personally, as they are trying to survive on their own. He then hands her a book. It is a summary of yellow-level dungeons expected to appear in the next year, and strategy plans to subjugate them. He tells her it is a farewell gift from him. Jun-woo then tells her there will be chaos in the association, and she shouldn't go around offering help but instead focus on the job. At that moment, Chief Lee opens the door and yells at Kim Jun-woo for not picking up the phone. She tells him about the board meeting regarding the dismissal of the chairman. Jun-woo realizes they are trying to dismiss the chairman and terminate Doo-sik Lee. He knows Song Cheol-sik is the one pulling the strings. In the board meeting, they are discussing the chairman's dismissal since he hasn't performed any of his duties for over 36 months. Also, the chairman can't be found or reached in the meantime. The moderator will announce the voting result of the dismissal of the chairman. Doo-sik Lee is aware that Song Cheol-sik bribed Yoon Young-go and Hong Ik-won with money to collaborate with him. Song Cheol-sik will likely become the chairman, and Doo-sik Lee will get retirement. Seo Min-cheol mocks him, suggesting that he would hire Doo-sik Lee as the manager of the cleaning team if he were to get fired. Doo-sik Lee regrets what he has done all these years for Seo Min-cheol. The moderator announces that 32 votes are in favor of the dismissal of the chairman. But Doo-sik Lee interrupts and asks what will happen if the chairman returns. The moderator replies that his dismissal will be cancelled, but it seems to be too late since they finished voting. The others start laughing at him, saying the chairman has been missing for years. To their surprise, the chairman has now returned. Everyone looks shocked after seeing the chairman's return. The chairman says a cleaner came by to tell him what is happening in the association with a terrifying aura. Everyone realizes the cleaner he is talking about is Kim Jun-woo. Yoo Bin-han's cleaning team members request her not to get involved with Kim Jun-woo, stating that Operation Team 2 got torn apart because of their association with him. Yoo Bin-han tells them to back out if they don't want to get involved but states that she is not cutting ties with Jun-woo. The cleaning team members express concerns and state that they need to look out for themselves. Yoo Bin-han yells at them, urging them to have some pride. She emphasizes that she is the kind of person who pays back for whatever she receives. Meanwhile, at the board meeting, everyone is shocked after seeing the chairman return. The chairman greets Doo-sik Lee and remarks on how he has lost weight. Doo-sik Lee is a bit surprised because Jun-woo had already told him he has no relation with the chairman. The chairman then addresses the directors, expressing how they have made quite a mess trying to take him down after all he had done for the organization. A board member mentions they were only following protocol, but the chairman questions if the subject regarding dismissal should be informed before the meeting. Song Cheol-sik complains about not knowing where to find the chairman during the past 3 years. The chairman asks how a cleaner found his location. After hearing what the chairman said, Song Cheol-sik glares at Seo Min-cheol. Seo Min-cheol is puzzled as he personally investigated Kim Jun-woo after hearing from Lee Soo-young. Song Cheol-sik jumps in, saying it doesn't matter since all of the voting is finished. The moderator appears anxious. Cheol-sik notices the other executive members are now panicking and starts blaming him. The other directors switch sides to gain chairman approval, claiming they don't know anything and suggesting calling off the voting due to a breach of regulations. The board members engage in a heated argument, debating on whom to side with and what course of action to take. Cheol-sik asks the moderator to keep going, saying the chairman can't do anything. The chairman gives a terrifying glance at the moderator, questioning what he is going to do now. The moderator announces that the board meeting will be called off as the chairman has returned. After the chairman's return becomes official, he declares that the association doesn't need any parasites that do nothing but suck on the funds. He announces the formation of a planning department for extensive restructuring of the organization, and appointing Dusik Lee as the head of the department. The chairman tells Dusik Lee that he is bound to be dismissed but can stay in the association under these terms. Dusik Lee remembers what Jun-woo said to him a few days ago, telling him to be ready for something. Dusik Lee slams the table, expressing how he will be the chairman's sword. He is now ready to reorganize the headquarters, somewhere in the association. So Yeon asks why cleaning team members are not permitted to use the cafeteria. Security informs them that they received orders not to give access to the cleaning team. As they get angry and about to leave, Lee Soo-young invites them to eat with him. While they are eating, he explains that the cleaning team can't eat in the cafeteria anymore due to complaints about the cleaning team's odor and hygiene. He covers his nose as he states he can smell it from here. He then tells Kim Jun-woo that he will be in charge of Operation Team 2 and replace Minju Kim. It is all because Kim Jun-woo wrote the other people's proposals. Lee Soo-young asks Jun-woo to just give up and leave. He then flicks the food onto Jun-woo's clothes. The other two get angry after seeing how Jun-woo gets treated. Lee Soo-young yells, questioning how they dare to look straight into his eyes, and threatens to fire them all if they utter another word. He then instructs them to clean the food with a smile while the chairman is approaching. After noticing the chairman, Lee Soo-young enters panic mode. The chairman states that he just came to say hi but witnessed an unpleasant sight. He slaps Lee Soo-young's face with all his might. He then advises him to go hide if he still wants to remain in the association. The chairman then instructs them to come find him if there is another situation like this, as he has no problem firing hunters he doesn't need. He mentions that he is going back and invites Kim Jun-woo for lunch sometime. The chairman walks away, leaving Lee Soo-young unconscious. Sang Hyuk-han is shocked and asks Kim Jun-woo who the hell he really is. In the next chapter, Seo Min-cheol is apologizing to Kim Jun-woo. He tells him how Song Cheol-sik pressured him, and he had no choice. He then asks Jun-woo to put in a good word with the chairman. Kim Jun-woo, standing firm, states that he can't help Seo Min-cheol since he's just a cleaner, and Seo Min-cheol has always looked down on him for that. Min-cheol gets on his knees, begging for forgiveness and states that he will expose every single case of corruption Song Cheol-sik has been involved in. However, Jun-woo tells him he doesn't care and how Seo Min-cheol should not have messed with someone who was just doing his job. Min-cheol asks what will happen to him, but Jun-woo replies that he doesn't know and walks away. Seo Min-cheol is now throwing papers at Lee Soo-young's face, blaming him because he said Jun-woo doesn't know the chairman. Everything Seo Min-cheol has planned is now in ruins because of the chairman's return. Lee Soo-young is also surprised by how Jun-woo could persuade the chairman to return. The phone starts ringing, and Seo Min-cheol is getting yelled at for not taking care of Kim Jun-woo. Song Cheol-sik says how other directors are now furious with him. Seo Min-cheol yells back, stating that he is not the one who tried to get rid of the chairman and Dusik Lee. Song Cheol-sik threatens to blow the whistle about how Seo Min-cheol boosted performance records using illegal measures and tells him to do something if he doesn't want to end up in jail. Seo Min-cheol then blames Lee Soo-young and tells him to get out of the room. Lee Soo-young has gathered his own money to investigate Jun-woo, but it backfired, and he's been getting all the blame. He knows Seo Min-cheol is a scumbag the way he fired Dongbin Lee. He is angry and plans to do something. On TV news, a reporter talks about how an investigation has revealed 14 executives involved in association scandals. Director Cheol-sik spent immense funds through fraudulent purchases and obtained bribes and now facing backlash. Seo Min-cheol is also revealed to be involved in illegal dungeon trading and manipulation of performance records. The whistleblower continues to expose a series of other corrupt activities. Everyone gathers in Min Joo Kim's office and are listening to the news. Dusik Lee tells the press that he will create a respectable association from now on. Dusik Lee was the one who got framed for all the corruption in the previous life. Now, Dusik Lee's fate will change from the previous one. Dusik Lee, whom Jun-woo had driven out with his own hands in the past life, is now working to reform the headquarters. In the previous life, Jun-woo made sure to get rid of anyone who got in the way of becoming SSS rank. But now he is working alongside those he had taken down. Dusik Lee and his daughter walk into the room and meet with Jun-woo. He then tells Jun-woo to join us for a drink since the problem has been taken care of. Jun-woo realizes why the chairman says he acts like a child. Dusik Lee informs Kim Jun-woo that the chairman has invited him for lunch and he is now waiting. At the restaurant, Kim Jun-woo asks what is the reason he wants to see him. Chairman explains how Song Cheol-sik people are biting each other's throats. Song Cheol-sik has been dismissed from the board of directors. Seo Min-cheol will be dispatched to Alungdo Island, and he still hasn't decided what to do with Lee Soo-young. The merging with the International Association has been cancelled. Lee explains that the International Association doesn't complain since the merger isn't a priority for them. He then thanks Jun-woo for not letting him get fired a week ago. The chairman asks what he should do now after he returned and reformed the headquarters. Kim Jun-woo is confused as to why he is asking him about that. The chairman is also confused, thinking Kim Jun-woo already planned it out. Jun-woo explains not to enforce further reformations since dissatisfaction will arise from the association. Hunters are the greatest asset of the association, and it's better not to antagonize them. The chairman agrees how he is doing only what is necessary and not to cause conflict. The chairman then asks to move to personal matters and asks him what Kim Jun-woo wants. Jun-woo replies that he doesn't have much to ask except for an increase in cleaning team wages. The chairman is surprised by how interesting Kim Jun-woo really is. The chairman says he would like to offer Kim Jun-woo the division director position, but he declines politely as he hands the letter of resignation towards the chairman. Lee starts panicking and assures Kim Jun-woo that he will take care of everything Jun-woo doesn't like. Jun-woo explains that it's because he has his own personal goals. After the cancellation of the merger, the relationship with the International Association is cut off. Jun-woo wouldn't be able to get close to the International Association if he stayed in the Korean Association. The time has come for Jun-woo to move on. Chairman accepts the resignation, seeing Jun-woo's determination. The chairman states that he is looking forward to working with Jun-woo for the next few months. Jun-woo's brain malfunctions for a second. The chairman clarifies that he is not letting Jun-woo go as soon as he submits the resignation, as it violates the Labor Act. Lee then tells Kim Jun-woo that they still have one serious matter to resolve. At the Paris-affiliated organization of the International Association, PB organization, a man named Mark is talking about Jason's failure to retrieve the time stone. Mark is the leader of the Hunter Balance Adjustment Team. Another person named Kane, the leader of the International Conquest Token Retrieval Team, agrees with Jason's incompetence. He asks Jason he should come up with more excuses, but Jason seems to be shot dead. Mark asks Chloe why she failed to retrieve the time stone during the joint operation. She explains that one of the people from Korean Association caught on, and she would be exposed if she didn't give up. Chloe is also the leader of the bank item management team of PB organization. Mark looks curious and asks about the person. He wonders what that person know about them. Chloe explains how he is a cleaner at the Seoul headquarters. Mark chuckles, finding it unbelievable that the mission failed because of a mere cleaner. Chloe then reveals how Kim Jun-woo persuaded the chairman to return, causing the merger to be called off. Mark gets angry, realizing that the merge was crucial for him to get the time stone back, and the same person prevented it from happening. Chloe explains how the cleaner got promoted to the director of operation. She also states how Kim Jun-woo has exceptional combat power and can use skills. He is also not registered in Hunter ranking system. Mark shouts as it doesn't make sense. Then we see someone states that Jun-woo might be an irregular. The woman asks what they are going to do with an irregular who has time stone. Chloe suggests using the dimension stone, but the woman doubts its effectiveness since the irregular might be preparing for it, since he already know about the time stone. She then calls out someone from the dark to work with Chloe and retrieve the time stone. That person is Young Min-ho, the #1 Korean freelance hunter. The woman orders him to dispose of Jason's body. Young Min-ho uses his skill on Jason's lifeless body, pulling out the head. She warns the others that the irregular is now their enemy. Meanwhile, everyone is celebrating and getting drunk except Kim Jun-woo, who looks less than thrilled. It turned out the important thing Lee talking about is to drink with colleagues. Jun-woo thinks to himself that he doesn't have much time. He went back in time 10 years using the Karma skill. The condition to cancel Karma skill is to become the Secretary General of the International Association. The prime suspect Park Jun-tae is not capable of such a thing. He looked for the other suspects but none of them was capable to do a thing. The culprit likely has influence greater than the Korea Association. He has 4 years and 9 months remaining to become Secretary General of International Association. If the condition to become Secretary General of International Association fail, it will result in the death of Hunter Kim Jun-woo. Fortunately, he has unlocked many skills by fulfilling certain conditions. The only thing left to do is find a way into the International Association. Chief Lee asks why Jun-woo is acting grumpy when he is the star of the show. Everyone seems to be having a good time and getting drunk, and Lee Ah-hyung tells Jun-woo to have fun once in a while. The people who hated and resented Kim Jun-woo in the former life are now gathered together with him, but they are now happy to see him in this life. Kim Jun-woo smiles as he realizes it's okay to have fun once in a while. This is the end of Season 1. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more and check out my channel.